In this video, we will be covering quality score. Very, very, very important topic. This is one of the major ways I've been able to have such a good return on investment and a good return on ad spend is by really focusing on getting relevant keywords that then have a matching landing page, which is one of the factors, a couple of the factors of quality score. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Here's what we're going to cover. We're going to cover what is quality score, factors affecting quality score in Google Ads, improving your quality score, impact on ad performance, and then I'm going to walk through a live ad that's operating right now, keyword and landing page example. In fact, many of you who are watching this video, you would have actually seen this ad or a variation of this ad and then landed on this landing page, and that's why you came into the community. So let's get off to it. So as always, go to coryprince.ca/newsletter for important updates regarding this course. Please follow me on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok for exclusive content. YouTube specifically, that publishes first. Cory Prince Google Ads is the handle across all social media, so just search that. And share the course. If you have any business owners or any creators or anybody like that that you really think could help from getting, or you really think would benefit from getting more clientele, more customers, more people into their ecospace or their ecosystem, definitely share it. We can help them out. So warning, this is the most important video in the entire course at the current time. So please don't skip, just don't fast forward, watch the entire video. It's structured in a specific way so that you learn as you go through. And if you skip, you're going to probably miss some foundational steps to really wrap your head around. As a pro tip, as always, feel free to watch the video in double speed if you'd like to save some time. So what is quality score? So quality score is a diagnostic tool meant to give you a sense of how well your ad quality compares to other advertisers. This score is measured on a scale from 1 to 10 and is available at the keyword level. A higher quality score means that your ad and landing page are more relevant and useful to someone searching for your keyword compared to other advertisers. So it's basically a way for Google to tell you, hey, how are you doing compared to your competition? If you have a low quality score, they're doing better as far as delivering what the searchers on Google want. If you have a higher one, you're doing better. The reason it matters is it affects your cost per click and your rank in the auction. Google Ads is done as an auction. So in real time, when somebody searches something, all the advertisers bidding on that particular keyword are ranked based on their likelihood to deliver what the person wants. And in fact, if you have a really high quality score, you can pay a lot less per click and a lot less per customer, just because Google's value is in giving people what they want, not in charging more for a click and showing them spam. So keep that in mind for sure. So factors that affect quality score are, it's based on performance of 3 components. Component number 1 is expected click-through rate, so CTR, and the likelihood that your ad will be clicked when shown. So a really simple way to wrap your head around this, if you're not familiar, is there's 100 impressions, so your ad is shown 100 times, and 5 people click it. Your click-through rate is 5%. So what Google is calculating on this in the ad rank is what your expected click-through rate would be based on your ad copy, based on your landing page, and historically based on the way you've performed before. So the higher expected click-through rate, the better. They're going to deem that a good indicator for their customers that are searching on Google to be able to find what they want. So ad relevance, how closely your ad matches the intent behind a user's search. So this one's super critical. Just imagine if you're searching on Google and you search for dance lessons and something comes up about UFC fighters or something like that. That's not aligned with what you're looking for, so the likelihood you're going to click it isn't 0, but it's very close to 0. So it's not a good experience for the user. So Google is not going to want to reward people that don't match their keyword searches and their ad copy with what the landing page and what the ad actually says. Landing page experience is the third component. How relevant and useful your landing page is to people who click your ad. So that previous example with dance lessons and UFC fighters, let's say you search dance lessons for my 5-year-old girl, and then a UFC fighter ad comes up, you're not going to click it. But if it said dance lessons for 5 to 7-year-olds, first class for free, near you, and it had a link, and it had a little site link underneath that had a location you're familiar with, which is near you. Click here for your free coupon, or click here to book next Tuesday's class. That's a really good message match ad, and it could perform very well. So that gives you an idea of what the relevance is from an ad standpoint. From a landing page standpoint, dance lessons for 5 to 7-year-old, ad that speaks to that. When you click on one of the links on the ad, the landing page that shows up delivers what you clicked. So if you clicked that one site link that I mentioned, which is some variation of book next Tuesday's class for free, and then as the page pops up, it doesn't mention anything about next week's class Tuesday for free, that's a fail. But if it mentions exactly what you clicked on and exactly what your intent is, and it was really simple and really easy to do and frictionless, basically, just put your email in, click here, and you'll be booked, and then an auto email goes out and confirms that you're booked. That's a good experience, and it's frictionless, or it's got less friction than having irrelevant ads, if that makes sense. So let's move on. One factor here that isn't on the help sections and isn't something that Google necessarily talks about too much, but I've noticed a pretty significant historical performance factor. So historical account performance, a well-maintained account with consistent performance can positively impact quality score. And I've experienced this myself because I've been running ads on my account since 2010. So I know people that bid on similar keyword phrases in similar markets for businesses that I have. And I know they pay more per click and more per client because they don't have a track record in their account like I have of delivering a high click-through rate, good landing page experience, and good ad relevance. So Google will still show their ads, they just make them pay more for them. At a certain point, they wouldn't show their ads if the relevance was really poor. But their ads are good enough to compete in the auction. They're just not good enough to get first, second, or third placement against me, with me probably paying a 10th or a 5th of the price that they pay. So it's well worth putting your time into figuring out how to get that quality score as high as possible. It gives you a massive, massive exponential discount in the auction. So improving quality score. So optimize your ad copy. So ensure your ad text is clear, relevant, and compelling. Include keywords in your ad copy to improve ad relevance. So this comes down to message match again. And by message match, all I mean is the search intent of what they search in a keyword phrase and the ad that appears in front of them as an impression matches what they're looking for more likely than not. So you're only going to get 10 or 20% click-through rate sort of on average at the highest. You can definitely get higher than that, but most people are going to get significantly less. And the way that you get that expected click-through rate and then that actual historical click-through rate is by really matching what they're searching for. So the example that I spoke about with the dance lessons, if it was a really long tail keyword search, which means lots of words, let's say girls dance lessons, 5-year-old girls dance lessons near me was the keyword phrase that was searched. If your ad actually said, if not exactly that phrase or some variation of that is contextually makes sense for the way people speak, the likelihood somebody's going to see that on one of the first results and go, oh, and see what the description says, see what the site links say. If all of that speaks to what they're looking for and it matches what they want, the likelihood they're going to click it's very high. And that's really good for you because on the other end of that click is either a phone call or a booked client or even a paying client if you're an e-commerce site. The next page, they could actually give you money in exchange for a good or service, which is a phenomenal way to scale a business. So next up is enhance your landing page experience. So if you improve page load times and ensure mobile friendliness of your landing page, you also provide high quality, relevant content that matches your ad and your keywords. So it's all about delivering what the user wants. The user wants a dance lesson for their 5-year-old girl. You need to deliver a dance lesson for their 5-year-old girl. And if that's not something your business delivers, your ads shouldn't be showing up. It's that simple. Refine keywords. Use keyword research tools to find relevant keywords and group similar keywords into tightly themed ad groups for better targeting. So when I spoke before about making sure that if you don't deliver what they're looking for, your ad shouldn't show up, the main way you'll structurally do that is by having tightly themed ad groups. So an ad group is just a group of keywords where an ad will show for. And a big mistake people make is that they put too many keywords in an ad group thinking, okay, all these keywords will trigger an ad, which is good. But because they're not tightly themed, this keyword down here triggers the ad, but the ad doesn't really speak to what that keyword intent is. So instead of having 20 or 30 or 50 or 1,000 keywords in an ad group, which I've seen, have between 3 and 20 or maybe between 3 and 5 that are very tightly themed. So if any of those 3 to 5 keywords are searched, the ad that you show can be the same ad, and it's so tightly themed with what the intent of that searcher is that when they see it, they're more likely to click it, and your click-through rate and your conversion rate's going to go up. Next up, use ad extensions or utilize ad extensions. So implement ad extensions like site links, callouts, and structured snippets. Extensions provide additional information and can improve click-through rate. So site links, callouts, and structured snippets are what you see underneath the ad description on an ad. So effectively what it does is headline, description, and then whatever these callouts or these assets are, or not assets, sorry, site links, callouts, and structured snippets. All it does is it actually increases the size that's viewable of your ad. And on a page that has limited ad space, anything that makes your ad larger is good, because the likelihood that somebody's going to click it because there's reduced space for other advertisers is higher. What really matters is what the ad says and what those site links and what those callouts are. But it's good to take up more of a page and basically edge out your competitors. So definitely utilize that as time goes on. We'll cover that in great detail in further parts of the course, but just to give you an idea of things that can be really effective for increasing your likelihood somebody's going to click your ad. So monitor and adjust campaigns. You need to regularly review performance metrics and adjust bids, keywords, and ads. Utilize or use A/B testing to find the most effective ad variations. So I talk about A/B testing all the time. The reason I talk about A/B testing all the time is the only way you're going to know what performs is by testing it. You're going to become experienced like me over time. You're still going to have an idea of what you think is going to perform. And I have to tell you, I'm wrong a lot of the time. And if I went into it thinking this is going to perform and then I didn't test it against some other variations or a lot of other variations, I'd be using an underperforming ad, which is costing more money to get the same result, or maybe no result at all. So test, 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 and then you don't have to think, you actually know. So impact on CPC or cost per click. So how does quality score affect cost per click? So cost per click increases or decreases relative to the quality score of 5. So 5 is a Google benchmark. 4 and below, you're going to pay quite a bit more in the auction, and 6 and above, you're going to pay quite a bit less. I don't deal in keywords under 5. If a keyword's under 5, I think that's massively, massively underperforming. And I might even pause an ad group or pause a keyword and work on the landing page until I get it to the point where I think it's going to perform, and then turn it back on so it can be reviewed. Or I might just go work on it while it's actually live still. My keywords, 7 is really the least that I'm going to accept, but many of my keywords are 10. The highest performing ones are 10 and have been 10 for over a decade. And what that does is that gives you just a massive, massive, massive advantage in the auction. So Google views you as somebody that's safe, a proven advertiser that's going to give the customer what they want. And you want Google to think that about you. A 10 out of 10 quality score might not be realistic for certain keyword phrases, but don't think that 8 plus isn't. I've always been able to get my keywords above 8 or above 7, and most I've been able to get to 9 or even 10. Once you get them at 10, as long as you're maintaining that keyword volume and you're getting searches and the click-through rate's still high and the landing page has still got the good experience, you're going to maintain that quality score of 10. And it's like a cheat code for clients in your business. It's like a cheat code for business. It's amazing. So now we're going to get into a live ad, keyword, and landing page example. This is going to give you a really good idea of how this all works and what I would do to improve this particular landing page because it's underperforming a little bit. Let's go. So here we are in the Google Ads account for the school campaign. So here's some keyword phrases I'm playing around with and getting some data on. This is the last 30 days. So this one has a quality score of 7, this one 7, this one 5. As I said, 5 is quite low, so 7+ is where I'd always aim for. And these other factors here, ones you really want to pay attention to. So these aren't by default available in the keyword search section. So keyword search is you go to campaigns, and then in the campaign you go down to search keywords, and that's where you're going to find keywords. So make sure that you have these showing up. So go into columns, modify columns, and then you can go in here and you can actually go through all the different quality score columns and add them all if you like. You can do that with any of the other fields that are in Google Ads here, but I highly, highly recommend the quality score one, and they're not there by default, just so you know. So let's move this over here. So let's go look at the top one here. Get leads from Google. That one's got a quality score of 7 out of 10. The quality score historically, meaning not just in this time period, but historically 7 out of 10. The expected click-through rate is above average, which means my message match on my ads is good. The historical expected click-through rate also above average. The landing page experience is below average, and the historical landing page experience is also below average. What that tells me is that when I go look at the landing page, there's going to be room for improvement. And if I improve that enough, I'll get bumped up in quality score, 8, 9, or even 10. I've usually been able to get from 7 to 10 or 7 to 9 by editing the landing page and just continually optimize and trying it. When we go onto the landing page, I'll speak about some of the things that I do that are really effective and give you an idea of sort of what's been working in the last 15 years. So next up, ad relevance is above average, and ad relevance historically is above average. So let's go look at the ad that is being triggered by these keywords. Let me just go there we go. So this ad, as I mentioned, many of you have actually seen it. You just didn't know it was an ad from me until after the fact. So the headline is here, and then the assets are here. And if you click on the assets, it's going to pop open all the different assets that we're using, and it's going to let you know whether it's a headline or whether it's description, whether it's pinned in the first position, meaning only shows in the first position, or maybe the second or third position. And then if you scroll over here, you're going to see how it's performing. So these ones are learning, this one's pending, these one's good, and the best one here is free course, shows you how we generated 80,000 leads at $1.06 per lead. I'm not surprised that one performs good. That's part of the main Grand Slam offer that I wrote when I initially started creating this. So that would be very compelling to me if I was somebody new into this, and it is one of the most powerful things that I have done, is generating that many leads for that low of a cost, because I've never met anybody or even heard of anybody online that's done the same thing. So I'm pretty proud of it. So here's the ad. Let's go back. So somebody searches like get leads on Google, Google Ads Learning, Google Ads Class, how to make money using Google Ads, something like that. And then this ad shows up. So out of the last 30 days, the interaction rate's been 7.05%, meaning the click-through rate. There's been 161 conversions on that particular one, $1.46 per conversion. That's probably slightly off just because I'm still working on getting the conversion tracking to work really well. But that gives you an idea of sort of how it's performing. And then you see this ad and you click it, here's what happens. So effectively you land on a landing page. So I'm always split testing these landing pages. So we click it one time, it's going to be this. If we were a different user and a different IP address, the next person will see a slightly different variation of the page, maybe a different headline, maybe a different text on the button on the call to action. But when I look at this and Google says that my landing page experience is below average, I know why. Here's the thing. Google does not like single landing pages with no other navigation or no other like value. They just see it as like a lead capture page. So it's like a fine line between capturing the lead and giving people as few options as possible and making Google happy. So if I look here, there's a couple things that I'm doing right, and there's a couple things that I can improve. So what I'm doing right is there's terms and conditions and a privacy policy on this landing page. When I learned that many, many years ago, putting that on a landing page really bumped up my quality score. I never stopped doing it. And I find a lot of people don't do it and don't know what an impact it has. So do that. Make sure there's a terms and conditions link and a privacy policy, because when the Google bots crawl your page, they want to know that it's a real page connected to a real website and it's not a scam, obviously. So the other things that I would do to increase the quality score, you're going to be careful with, is adding extra calls to action. I would not recommend. Adding extra navigation, I might consider. But of course, if I put navigation on top, like a home page or sign up to my newsletter or anything else there, that means there's other ways for them to go and other things for them to do versus filling out this particular form. I want them to fill out this form, and that is what's going to invite them to the community, but that's what the goal of this landing page and this ad campaign is. So just as a quick recap, terms and conditions and privacy policy is super important. Consider other navigational terms or navigational headlines or tabs if your landing page is not performing as much as you want it to as far as quality score. But honestly, if it's 7 or 8, you're doing pretty good. If it's more than that, you're probably just fine. And really take into account what your cost per click and your cost per acquisition or cost per action or lead is. Because if you're getting leads at a price that's still viable and making you money, you might not want to add navigation here, because that might really decrease your conversion rate on the page. Right now, the conversion rate on this page is over 30%, meaning about 1 in 3 people that view it fill out the form. And that's extremely high. You're going to find the average conversion rate on a normal website is probably 2% or 1 or less. So the reason for that is there's not a lot of options when they go to the page other than signing up. There's also a countdown timer, which is creating urgency for them to get this offer before it expires, because it will. And the message match, the person who's viewing this page is not just a random person on the internet. The person who views this page search terms that align with what this page is delivering. So that's really, really powerful stuff. As always, coreyprince.ca/newsletter for important updates regarding the course. And in summary, so the components of a quality score are expected click-through rate, ad relevance, and landing page experience. Those 3 factors are what determine what your quality score are going to be. And your quality score as an example, as a reminder, is how you're competing with other advertisers for those keyword phrases that you're searching or that you're using to trigger your ads. Quality score is at the keyword level. So you can view a keyword's quality score by going to the keyword section of the campaign, like I showed you in the video earlier. And make sure that you modify your columns so that you have quality score and all those different quality score metrics there. They're not there by default. Some people don't pay attention to them. I've been paying attention to them since the very beginning in 2010. And I think that's one of the reasons I've been able to get my cost per lead and my cost per acquisition down as low as I've been able to. And think critically. Continuously review any ad copy and landing page for keywords that have a quality score of 6 or less. Could the ad copy, the keyword groups, or the landing page be more closely aligned in some way that would deliver a higher click-through rate and a better experience for the searcher? If they could be, improve them. Continuously think about how you can improve the experience for the user. It's all about the user's experience. That's what's going to cause them to click, to purchase, to sign up, to download your app, to do whatever it is that you would like them to do that's going to benefit your business. So if you find value in what we provided so far, go to testimonial.coreyprince.ca, leave a testimonial, win special prizes. I'm going to be giving away a full year of G-Ads Hub Premium and other things too, one-on-one coaching sessions, one-on-one audits of your own ad campaigns with me. I'd be happy to do that for people as time goes on, but I want to give it to the people that are going to leave testimonials and really see value in what I'm doing. So I really appreciate anybody who goes on there and does that. So thank you so much. End on a quote, Alex Hormozi. Not sure if you know who he is. He's one of the co-founders or co-investors who co-owns Skool, Skool. Getting people to buy is not the objective of a business. Making money is. And lowering price is a one-way road to destruction for most. You can only go down to zero, but you can go infinitely high in the other direction. And it's true. It's a race to the bottom in a lot of industries. And if you get your offer correct in your ad copy and your targeting and your search and your keywords, you get everything dialed in really, really well, you're not going to be having people that are as price sensitive necessarily for what you're offering. They're going to be in pain about a particular service or product or something that they want. And if you have your offer crafted just right and your ad copy and everything crafted just right, they're not only going to want to give you money for this service or this product or whatever it happens to be, or app download, they're going to be super, super grateful and super happy. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. I hope all of you are doing fantastic, and let's get to work. I really appreciate you taking the time. Leave a testimonial if you feel like you're getting some value here and you want to pay it forward, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.